Hey everyone, Happy New Year. Welcome back to Precast Chalk Talk. Today we're going to talk about our precast columns and beams again, and we're going to go into our rebar fabrication department and take a look at a new piece of equipment we have. Super excited to show this to you, but I want to start at the chalkboard because there's some things from an engineering standpoint that I'd like to describe for you how beams and columns work and why these components that we make with the rebar are so important to the structural integrity of the precast system. Okay, we're at the chalkboard. Two columns and a beam. Superimposed load on the beam. If you recall from our previous discussions with our engineers, we know that this beam, when it's loaded, wants to do this. It wants to deflect a little bit. And if this were just made of concrete, the whole thing would start to crack here. And we wouldn't want that because it's going to crack. Concrete cracks, as you recall, in tension concrete cracks. It's really good in compression, but not in tension. So it's going to want to try to crack like this as we load it. But what we do to prevent that is we add in this steel reinforcing in the bottom of the beam so that when that crack starts to happen and it hits the steel being really good in tension, it stops the crack. Now, if all we did was put this longitudinal bar in, we would still have a problem, because eventually what happens is these cracks start to develop at a 45-degree angle, and they would go all the way through like this, and eventually you'd still have cracking concern and failure concern. So what we do is we add what we call stirrups, and these stirrups are vertical rebar reinforcing, and these stirrups prevent those 45-degree cracks from happening. We're out in the plant, and we're looking now at a beam cage. So here's the longitudinal bar. These are the big longitudinal bars that I was talking about. That was the blue color that supports the load in bending when the beam wants to bend. These are the stirrups, okay? And these rebar stirrups are the ones that prevent that crack from wanting to go at a 45-degree angle through the piece. All right, so special guest today, Dr. Matt Phillips. Doctor, how are you this morning?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, so Matt, how long have you been with Mid-States?
April will be 16 years.
16 years. You think he knows something about precast? So Matt's going to show us a piece of equipment we call a bender.
All right, so for instance here we've got a number 4 bar. Your number 4 bar is your yellow sleeve. So what you do is you take your dimensions, whatever. If you want a 6-inch bend, if you want a 6-inch leg, you'll take this and you'll measure your 6 inches, you'll put it at that dimension, and then you'll program the machine to whatever radius you want to bend. So you're at 465, you want to hit your counterclockwise, you disassemble your machine, program 1. You can do multiples, you can do multiple bars. So you measure your 6 inches, whatever dimension you want, step on your button, and it'll bend exactly what you want for a degree. So that's a 6-inch bend at that 465.
Matt, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. So this takes some time, and now we've got this new piece of equipment we're going to show our audience. What's it meant to have the larger automated rebar bending piece of equipment around?
It's definitely more efficient. Everything's there. You just program it and you go. It's not that you have to cut any bars. You know, everything here is manual. Like I said, we ran this for many, many years, and that there is definitely a huge investment for the company.
Matt, front and center with Matt here, standing in front of our new automated rebar bender. And the rebar bender came all the way from Italy. How is your Italian?
Not good at all.
No? So
I'm good at eating Italian food, but that's it.
So am I. This thing is big.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so
It's got 4 spindles. I mean, you could actually do more if you wanted to. So you could keep expanding down if you needed to.
So when you say a spindle, let's take a look at the spindle.
Sure. You'll see 4 individual spindles. You can stay there. I'll just show you. Here's 1, and then 2, 3, 4.
Nice. So
each spindle has a coil of rebar, which different sizes. We can actually bend 2 pieces at the same time. We don't do that right now currently, but that in the future, if we needed to, we could.
That's actually being pulled and drawn off of a coil.
Yes, a huge coil of bar, and it goes through the machine, straightens it, and then bends it to the proper specification.
Wow, fantastic. When you look at this piece of equipment, how difficult was it to program and to get in sync with what we're doing?
I made it to where we can actually take our drawings, look at the listings of the drawings,
Yeah.
and then send those directly to the vendor so they don't have to enter any pieces,
Wow,
empty
fantastic.
measurements. That prevents human error from entering the wrong amount. A good example of what just happened is an employee just came up to me and said, this highlighted piece right here, we don't have anymore. So he needs 53 of them now. This piece that I just got told to make, I've already gone through and plugged it into the system. I've already made one that needed 53, so now I've made it to where I only need 52 of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the machine and run.
$52 of these on the old Granddaddy might take an entire day, or I
Correct.
mean, it would take a long. We're going to do these 52 in like what, 10 minutes?
20? Yeah, 20 minutes probably.
Matt, thank you very much.
You're
This is
welcome.
awesome. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, peace.